From the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
After months of back and forth between a local neighborhood and the city, a homeless storage facility is set to open in just a few hours.
Overnight, President Trump landing back here in the U.S. and tweeting that Americans can feel more safe now that North Korea is no longer a nuclear threat.
The World Cup coming to North America in 2026. Games being played in Canada, Mexico, and maybe as close to home as Los Angeles.
And we're on top of breaking news. Burglars just hit an eyeglass shop in Kearney Mesa. We're looking into whether this is tied to another store break-in overnight.
Good morning, 6 a.m. I'm Jason Martinez.
I'm Virginia Cha. Thank you so much for being with us. Want to get you started with a good look at the forecast because it's been pretty warm.
It's going to be warm again today, even warmer. In fact, today is going to be the warmest day of the week. We are starting off with pretty abundant marine layer clouds, a lot farther inland than they have been the last couple of mornings as we look from our South Bay sky cam, and some fog mostly in the North County near Fallbrook. That's where the trouble spot is, less than half a mile there. Vista and Carlsbad, also parts of La Jolla, a little foggy this morning. Your 10-hour day planners gets us into the 70s this afternoon along our coastline, and 80s and a few 90s for our inland neighborhoods. In fact, more 90s today than just yesterday. I'll pinpoint which neighborhoods will be climbing into the 90s today when I come back in about 8 minutes. All right, Kalina, you said that the grade has changed.
The grade has changed. You can see it here in our Caltrans camera, and this is why. Your ride into Coronado right now is just jam-packed off of the 5 freeway. Usually this is about a 3-minute commute coming off the 5. Right now you're looking at about a 12-minute ride. Speeds in certain areas down to 16 miles per hour. So really give yourself some extra time if you usually take this heading into Coronado. 10 News Live Traffic Tracker will show you the delays right now on the 5 freeway. This is heading northbound. You can see it through National City. Overall, it'll take you 14 minutes, leaving the 905 to about the 94. Also seeing southbound traffic on the 5 right now as you transition onto or heading into Coronado, again because of the traffic there as well. And the 805 northbound between the 54 and the 8, this slowing down to about a 12-minute commute. Renee?
Yeah, we've got breaking news here in the 10 News Live Center. Thieves targeting multiple eyeglass stores overnight. The first one in Kearney Mesa. This is the New Optics, and our 10 News breaking news tracker was on scene there, capturing this video that you see right here. 4 suspects broke in to that New Optics on Convoy Street. This was around 4 a.m. They took off with designer eyeglasses. There is some surveillance video, and you can see the broken glass right there as they work to patch that back up. But there's surveillance video right now that police are reviewing, trying to get an idea of who exactly did this. Now, this is not the only one from overnight. Our 10 News breaking news tracker right now on scene. You're getting a live picture of another break-in. This is at the Lens Crafters on Rancho Carmel Road. They were also broken into early this morning. We have checked in with San Diego police who have not connected these two, but we are working on getting those details. We'll bring you more here in the Live Center. Jason, Virginia?
All right, thank you, Renee. So in just a few hours, a new storage center for the homeless will be opening in Sherman Heights. It's at 20th and Commercial.
And neighbors have fought against the opening for months. 10 News anchor Mary McKenzie live in Sherman Heights to show us how it'll operate. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Jason, Virginia. Yeah, it's the Storage Connect Center housed in this massive building here. It'll open just about an hour from now. They expect a trickle of people in here. Homeless advocates say that this could be life-changing for some people who live on the streets, but some of the neighbors are still not happy about it. The City Council voted to approve the center in March. It is the second one in San Diego, and this one will have 500 45-gallon bins. The city believes with both centers, it's estimated to be enough storage to eliminate the tents and the makeshift shelters from city sidewalks. Advocates say that it could be life-changing because homeless people often feel like they have to guard their possessions instead of going to the doctor or going to a job interview, for instance. At yesterday's tour, though, we talked with a woman who is not happy about it.
Before this facility has even opened, I have had things stolen out of my garage. There's constantly trash in my front yard. And sometimes it's uncomfortable for me because when I go outside to my car in the middle of the night and there's homeless people hanging out, I don't feel safe.
And because of that backlash from the community, and initially they were going to have 1,000 storage bins here. Now again, it's just 500. They expect about 10 people a day to kind of trickle in and begin to store their belongings here. We're live in Sherman Heights this morning. Mary McKenzie, 10 News.
Mary, thank you very much. New from overnight, a suspected drunk driver leads police on a short pursuit, eventually ending after he drives onto trolley tracks. Police say they were only stopping that driver because he didn't have a license plate light. so that you could see the plate. But anyway, the driver sped off. The driver crashed through a chain link fence at 57 and Market in Emerald Hills and drove right onto those tracks. He and a passenger got out and ran. Police arrested the driver, but the passenger got away. So overnight, President Trump arriving back in Washington, D.C. after his trip to Singapore. Just after landing, he tweeted sort of a reflection on his trip.
Yeah, this is what he wrote, quote, "A long trip, but everybody can now feel much safer than the day I took office. There is no longer a nuclear threat from North Korea. Meeting with Kim Jong-un was an interesting and very positive experience. North Korea has great potential for the future." Now, the president's deal with North Korea calls for them giving up nuclear weapons in exchange for security from the U.S. He also said the U.S. will no longer be conducting military drills on the Korean peninsula.
Under the circumstances that we're negotiating a very comprehensive, complete deal, I think it's inappropriate to be having war games.
The actual agreement, though, lacked a lot of specifics, including timing and how to verify North Korea's actions. The president says those details will be ironed out. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is starting part of that process today. He's having a series of meetings with our Asian allies.
Today, Mayor Faulkner will make San Diego's latest budget official. Now that it's been approved by City Council, he'll sign it into law on the budget for the fiscal year 2019. The budget calls for the largest infrastructure investment in city history. It also directs funding towards things like public safety and libraries. Good morning, Renee.
Hey, good morning. The 2026 World Cup is coming to North America, and we've been monitoring the FIFA news conference since about 4:30 this morning. Now, the vote came in from FIFA just this morning. They were choosing between North America, also Morocco. The games are going to be played in 16 cities all across the United States, Mexico, and of course Canada. The closest to us will be Los Angeles. So great news for fans here. The last time the U.S. has actually hosted the soccer showcase was back in 1994 in the Live Center. Jason,
yeah, exciting news. Canada, USA, and Mexico, three best friends. Right there.
Holding hands.
Absolutely. So starting today, the on-ramp from Friars Road westbound onto the 163 South will be closed for good. Instead, drivers will continue straight on Friars Road, turn right onto Ulrich Street, then take that ramp onto the 163 South. Caltrans says it needs to close the Friars on-ramp to add another right turn lane from westbound Friars Road to Ulrich Street. It's part of a bigger project to improve on and off ramps along the 163. So in Mission Valley driving, good luck to all of us.
Oh, goodness. 6:07, the former student charged with online threats that led to the closure of Torrey Pines High School will be arraigned later today. Kevin Matlack was supposed to be in court yesterday, but he didn't show up. He is being treated at a psychiatric facility. His attorney says Matlack is being treated for mental health issues and argues his client never said he intended to shoot up school or kill anyone. But the DA says Matlack had a festering resentment against the school for the past several years. Matlack could face more than 4 years in prison.
Now, a 10 News Morning Original. New reporting first at 6.
So a warning for pet owners across San Diego. This month, County Health reported a case of typhus in North Park.
It is spread through fleas. It has flu-like symptoms that can put people in the hospital. 10 News reporter Jared Ahrens has some details on what every pet owner needs to do now to avoid getting sick.
Here you go. It's a little brown flecks.
They're tiny, almost microscopic, but fleas present a big danger in San Diego now that a case of typhus has been reported.
Once in a while, one of those fleas picks up the infection from a possum. Sometimes it can even pass it to feral cats or even domestic cats. And then if that flea bites a person, they can potentially pass that infection then on to a person.
Vector control ecologist Chris Conlon says San Diego usually sees one case of typhus per year. Keeping it from spreading requires vigilance against fleas.
These are some of the flea products, most of the flea products that we carry.
Veterinarian Ann Eliopoulos is the medical director at Bodie Animal Hospital in North Park. She sees fleas every month.
We are not like the rest of the country. We're temperate. The fleas have a party on your pet year-round.
But with typhus in the area, treatment is even more important now. Dr. Eliopoulos recommends newer medicines from a vet because fleas in San Diego have built a tolerance to the older, more common brands.
Absolutely, far and away more effective than what you can get over the counter or in the pet stores.
It's the only way, she says, to keep your pets and yourself safe. In North Park, Jared Ahrens, 10 News.
specific type of typhus the woman in North Park had is called Murine Typhus. It's a bacterial disease. Symptoms, again, flu-like, so fever, chills, body aches. After about a week, a rash could also develop. Now, most people never need any treatment, but some may need antibiotics. In very severe cases, typhus can cause organ damage, even death.
Last week's primary could be one of the last times San Diegans vote on local officials in the month of June. City Council members Chris Cate and Mark Kersey want to eliminate the city primary and only hold November elections. They're suggesting two ways a November-only election would work. The first method would simply elect the candidate with the most votes, even if it isn't a majority. And then the second option is called ranked choice voting. And voters would rank their preferred candidates. The lowest ranked is eliminated until one of the candidates has a majority. A council committee will consider the idea today, and if it moves forward, it could ultimately end up on this November's ballot.
So we'll vote on voting.
That's right.
That's interesting. We'll have to see how that one turns out. All right, if you're headed out to the San Diego County Fair today, it is going to be nice and sunny, so make sure you're wearing that sunscreen. And the Cult taking the stage at 7:30 tonight, the rock band, 65 degrees then. Of course, we have so much information on 10news.com. Just look for the family fun section. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s along our coastline today, 90s for areas like Escondido and Poway, just shy of that in El Cajon. Julian also forecasting 89 degrees today. Ramona and Alpine in the 90s as well. And just keep your paws in mind. That's right, your little furry friends. Be cautious in the heat. Air temperatures in the 70s, 80s, and 90s can make concrete and asphalt temperatures soar well into the 100s. So maybe you walk your pets, your dogs, on that grass if you can. I am forecasting tropical moisture coming our way when I come back in about 8 minutes. Kalina, how's it going on the roads?
I just want that dog to walk off the screen and come and hang out with us. All right, we got lots of red out there this morning and some yellow spots as well. So if you're going to be traveling, certain spots are really slow. So starting off with the 805 northbound, going to take you about 13 minutes to leave the 54 and head up toward the 15. Once you get past that, you're clear heading into Mission Valley and Claremont. This is a tough drive though. The 5 and your ride heading into Coronado really are a problem spot this morning. A 14-minute commute already heading through National City. That's the northbound side of the 5. It doesn't pick up until you get past the 94. And now you're slowing down on the southbound side of the 5 as well. Speeds down to 22 miles per hour. But your commute heading into Coronado, really tough. 12-minute ride as you come off the 5. Guys?
Thank you, Kalina. A window washer killed after falling several stories in the East Village. His daughter talking to us and searching for answers.
The FBI agent who shot a man while dancing turns himself into police. The additional charges he could end up facing.
Plus, why the ACLU is now taking up the case of a local woman who was arrested for honking her horn.